my name is Halpin, and I finished my PhD last year in the lab of Dr. Lori West, and I studied pediatric immune responses in children who've had heart transplants. And I'm currently a clinical fellow in the University of Alberta Precision Laboratories Histocompatibility Laboratory. My background is actually in the clinical lab. I'm a lab technologist in my all of my previous work prior to my PhD. And so I really enjoyed being a CDTRP for trainee for a number of reasons. The My background, because I'm coming from a clinical lab, it really was a learning curve for me to try to think about research questions, to try to switch gears to thinking about research rather than clinical work every day. And it took me some time to do that. And as a CDTRP trainee, that really has helped me because listening to the CDTRP webinars, attending the CDTRP annual meetings, other opportunities like that really helped me understand how to formulate research questions, how research is structured, and watching other people do that really helped inform the work that I was doing and give me a better sense of how my work fit into the grand scheme of transplantation. I think that it was also really helpful to interact with other trainees because the department, the university that I was in, while very supportive, didn't have a lot of other trainees who were doing work in transplant immunology. So I really valued the time that I got to spend with other trainees, as well as other researchers, but other trainees in particular who were going through the same stages that I was and dealing with and studying similar subject matters to me. That really provided me a great environment to do that. There are many valuable things for me about being a CDTRP trainee, but I think from my perspective and from my background, the most valuable for me was, and the most helpful for me was to have the opportunity to interact with patient, donor, and family or caregiver partners in research. This is something that I had never done before. The clinical lab, we don't have the opportunities to meet patients. Most research labs, if you're doing basic bench research, you really rarely get that opportunity. And it's such an important piece of what we do because it really helps us understand why our research priorities are, or why they are what they are, or maybe what they should be, where we are meeting the needs of patients, where we have more work to do to meet the needs of patients, donors, and their families. And that was a really, for me, one of the most helpful parts of being part of the CDTRP, in addition to many other benefits. I think that in order to conduct research that best serves our transplantation community, it's so valuable to be able to interact with patient donors and families. And the fact that the CDTRP includes patients, donors, and their families as co-leads, as well as including this kind of partnership at our meetings is really valuable. So I know for me, the first time I had to present my work to patient donors, families, I did not do a good job, and I'm still working to best deliver my messaging in a way that's tangible, digestible to partners outside of the clinical and research lab. But I think this is a really important skill in science, and I really valued that I had the opportunity to flex that muscle as a CDTRP trainee. And I think it's a really underrated part of science to have this skill, and I'm really grateful that I got to at least begin that journey. And as I move forward now in my own research career, and in as a uh, soon to be hopefully director in a clinical lab, I will continue to build on that skill, and I will always value and go back to the CDTRP to seek partners in what I do, because I think it's only makes our work better. If I had to think about just a few words of wisdom or suggestions for future or current CDTRP trainees, I would say, of course, to value that patient-donor family partnership that I just discussed, but also to really take all the opportunities you can to practice your public presentation skills. If you're asked to present your research at a meeting, whether it's the CDTRP or another meeting, take that opportunity, because learning to speak in front of a group, whether it's your fellow scientists or other scientists collaboratively, it's a really important skill to have, and those opportunities exist within CDTRP. So, go ahead and take them. Offer to moderate some of the different webinars and sessions, because that also is an important skill in science. Moderating a session can be easy, it can be challenging. So the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll become doing it. And also take advantage of the collaborative nature of CDTRP. Don't not attend a session just because you think, well, that's not my area of science, because we're increasingly in science seeing that cross pollination between different areas of science, different areas of research is so valuable, so important. Our funding agencies want to see that. We ourselves will benefit from that. So that is something that is really fostered within CDTRP, that collaborative nature of, seeing many other areas of transplantation and partnerships within and around transplantation. So make sure that you take advantage of that while you're in your trainee status, and, don't hesitate to learn those skills now, and then you can continue to build on them as you move forward in your own career.